So, praise the Lord. Well, this is a little bit of a shoehorn in, but I couldn't really think of any other way to do it except a Sunday morning when we're gathering at the moment. So over the last couple of years, obviously, because of COVID, we've been restricted and lots of things have changed. But during that time, we've also tried to adapt, and we're trying to adapt as a trustees, as a church board. We're trying to think about where we are as a church right now in the community that we're in. We're trying to be aware of the changes in the community, and we're just trying to make sure that we position ourselves as a church, not just spiritually, but also publicly, so that we are a place of invitation and welcome, you know. I don't say this easily, but COVID has really damaged a lot of churches up and down the country. And I know it might seem that we're a smaller group, but there are smaller groups in our country who have yet started to gather back together. I was talking to somebody involved with the Ashton Church of the Nazarene up in Manchester. They had 110 people before COVID, and now they've probably got 20 people coming regularly after COVID. I was talking to the same person. He'd been to a conference with New Wine and New Frontiers and different denominations up and down the country, some doing great. And but again, articulating the same thing. COVID has deeply impacted local churches and people's ability and freedom to attend. Also, the changes in our society. So as a trustees, as a church board, we're trying to adapt, we're trying to be new, we're trying to be different. Hence the cafe, hence the decorating, hence lots of new stuff that you might see popping up. It's not just a whim. It's thought through and it's missional for the future. So one of the things that I brought to the trustees, and the trustees have been talking about, and we've been talking about, is what I'm going to bring you today. So it is a proposal that needs to be voted on by active members of the church. Now, active members are different from people who attend the church. And if you want to talk to me about what that is afterwards, please, I'd love to talk to you about it. I've got a few people on my list that I want to get some new members in. So yeah, one of the things we'd like to do and like to propose is to change the name of the church. Yay, Bristol Nazarene Church. Now, this is an important thing. It's a big thing. We love this church. We love it, don't we? Many of you have been here for years. But up and down the country, in the Nazarene district and beyond, this is what people are doing. It's a different step. It's a new thing. So this isn't just a whim of us. This is happening in a lot of places. So let me explain a little bit of why we're doing it. I've got some points up here. So the reason why we're thinking like this, and the reason why I presented it to the church board, is because the world is changing. Attitudes to church have changed. You probably feel that as well as I do. Faith isn't as celebrated and understood as much in society anymore. It just isn't. People's, they just don't get it. So what we want to make sure is that we're positioned in a place as a church where people understand who we are and where we are and what we do, you know. So that's one reason. This area's changing. I'm on a development. I met with the developers of the new development of Broadwalk, or whatever they're going to call it, on Friday. This area's changed, actually. It's not changing. It's changed a lot. And if you're on the ground, you feel it, the movement between the top of the hill and the bottom of the hill, house prices. This place is changing. Aspirations have changed. Expectations have changed. Things have changed. One of the reasons why we decorated and we've got the cafe in, because people want something new. And again, we want it to be a welcoming place. So we want to keep on the crest of that wave and make sure that we're there with that. And we want to get ready for the new development. It looks amazing, and it's going to happen, and it'll be tweaked and it'll change. but it looks amazing. And it's going to bring 400 new homes into the area. And our website needs to be up to date. What we look like needs our Facebook pages, our social media, things that people might not understand out there, but I do and a few of us do. We need to be ready to receive an influx of new people. Let me tell you, hundreds of people leave this area to go to churches on the other side of Bristol. Hundreds. Every Sunday. Woodlands, Christchurch, this, that, whoever. So we need to be ready, and we need to be modern, and we need to be able to be welcoming to those modern people. The word Nazarene, we love the word Nazarene, but nobody understands the word Nazarene. Unfortunately, in today's world, it's confusing. I had a conversation recently with somebody, and they thought we were a black Pentecostal church, which would be amazing. I want the choir. But they have no idea what that word means anymore. And again, this is recognized up and down the country. It's confusing to people. It makes people not understand what we are. So part of what we want to do is make it clear that we are a church, okay? All right, you'll see what we're doing in a minute, a church. Bam, easy. Now, the wonderful thing is, we've got to be Nazarene, and let me tell you now, this is not about moving away from that, and you'll see in a moment that we have Nazarenedom all over the new stuff, so don't worry about that. Yes. New wine, new wineskin, okay? If you have been with us for the last 4 months, we have been seeking new wine. We don't want to go back to church in 2019. We want newness. We're not rejecting that church. It was amazing. But we also want to bring a newness spiritually to this church. If it's not, the belonging stuff, I don't just make this stuff up. The prayer stuff, it's not just a whim, okay? I want newness. I want us to be saturated in the Holy Spirit. And I want us to be full of Jesus and full of the Father's love, okay? And that means I want to be new. And often when we're new, the old saying goes in the Bible, if you don't change the outward and the inward together, then the outward will just burst. And all that newness will just dissipate away. Okay. So what we're trying to do is bring new wine and new wineskins. Reinvent ourselves. Look new, look different. Be new. It's okay to be new. All right? And adapt or die. We are under incredible pressures. And as a pastor, I value your prayers on this. But we are under incredible pressure to survive over the next 5 years. I can't say it any more bluntly than that. We'll be fine. It'll be okay. But there is a potential and a possibility, as all the other churches who are struggling post-COVID. So we've got to be aware of this. And that includes adapting our spirituality, adapting our community, who we are. But maybe it also means adapting the building, what it looks like, what it feels like, so that we are able to receive new people in a new and exciting way. And the wonderful thing is, I've sent all this to Carl McCann, our district superintendent. He's taken it to the district advisory board, which is the main decision-making body, and they 100% wholeheartedly agree with this proposal. Of course, it's you, the members, who decide on it, but I just want to reiterate that. Carl McCann and the district advisory board are saying, go for it. Lots of churches are, and we want to support, they're supporting us in this change. So this isn't some independent movement, or it's very much intertwined with who we are as Nazarenes in British Isles South District. So, the name. This is what the trustees, after some conversations, have looked at. Is Redcatch Community Church of the Nazarene. Now, at first, I just wanted Redcatch Community Church. But legally, I'm not allowed to do that, which is a wonderful thing. And again, it wasn't because I was trying to get rid of the Nazarene, because I'd have had loads of Nazarene logos everywhere to make sure everybody understood who we were. But legally, we've got to have the name Church of the Nazarene in the title. So, Redcatch Community Church of the Nazarene. On the ground here, we've got Redcatch Community Centre, God bless them, Redcatch Community Gardens, God bless them, Redcatch Community Church. It's going to be called maybe Redcatch something, the new development, Redcatch Broadwalk, Redcatch Crescent, Redcatch something. So again, just trying to future-proof and look forward and look ahead to a future that's coming, just to, again, make sure that we are embedded in that development and that idea. Now, the good thing about Redcatch is this also. It has begun to take on its own meaning in the community. It's neither Knoll and it's neither Upper Knoll. One of the problems I've always faced as a missional pastor here is, who are we? Who do we serve? Do we serve the knoll behind the church? Or do we serve the knoll up the hill? And I can tell you, there was a psychological gap between the two, as you probably knew if you've grown up here and you know the area. However, over the last 5 years, there has been an incredible movement down the hill and up the hill. Knoll Park Primary School, when Daisy used to go, it was me and Daisy walking home through Redcatch by ourselves, literally, just me and Daisy going up the hill, because everybody else went to Hillcrest or West Town Lane. You remember Kids Club? It was always that, wasn't it? Do you remember? So it was me and Daisy, and then when me and Gabe and Daisy did it, it was then me, Gabe and Daisy, and a handful of other people. Now it is a complete open. Redcatch Park has become a gathering point for people from behind the church and people from up the hill. And I think in some ways it really helps to be called Redcatch, because it just takes away that tribalism, those invisible lines between Knoll and Knoll Park and Upper Knoll. And Redcatch has become this place of well-being and health, the park, the community. Yeah. So it's a good name. That's the one we're suggesting anyway. So yeah, Redcatch Community Church of the Nazarene. So hope you think that's catchy. It's going to look something like this. This is a mock-up. This is not what it's going to be. Not quite sure about the black. I'm going to get somebody who's a designer to help with the colours and bling it out and make it look good. But this is the sort of idea what's going to go on the front of the church with welcome signs. It's all going to be look modern and new, and hopefully going to try and get somebody from the developers as well. So just that's why I'm there, really, not. So loving God, loving each other, loving our community, and I just want you to see the Nazarene seal over the I of community. So that has to be on. Again, so this isn't about us pushing away from the Nazarenes. And then obviously underneath, a fully affiliated member of the International Church of the Nazarene. So it's not about moving away from Nazarenes, but it's about clarity and clearness and ease, okay? So church, community, the area it's embedded in, you know. So these are the ideas, what we've had. And at the moment, we've got 27 members of the church who can vote on this. And I can put the list out. So what we're going to do is this. Thank you, Gabe. So an active member of the church is somebody who's actually officially signed up as a member of the Nazarene Church, and also somebody who's been in attendance in the last 6 months. In the background, I've been doing quite a lot of stuff on the statistics. There's a lot of people who have not been around, not just because of COVID, but they've just not been around. So they're now non-active members, and slowly but surely we'll take them off the roster unless people start coming back. So it's about 27 people. But if you'd like to talk to me about membership, even before the vote, it can happen. It's not a problem. And I want it to be a full church decision. But actually voting right, you've got to be a member of the church. Okay. So, and we're going to look, and this is to be confirmed, the date, but we need an AGM in February. So it'll be the 13th of February. And check your diaries, because you know what I'm like with numbers. I think that's right. It's a Sunday, the 13th of February. Also, you can get your vote in by emailing me, sending me a message. You know, it doesn't have to be face-to-face in that moment. I just need to hear your voices and get the votes in already. And then at the AGM, we'll be able to ratify the change officially. And then on the 27th of February, if it's ratified, Carl McCann's going to come down and we're going to have a service, a celebration service of our church and a celebration service of the future to come. And part of that service will be Carl bringing in the new name of the church. So, finally, I've definitely shoehorned this to a worship event. So, please talk to me if you want any more clarity on it. If you need any more information than what I've already given you, if you'd like to see the presentation again, come on Wednesday night, find me, phone me, message me, and we can move forward together. Yeah, so all